spheres of innocence turned ammunition, childhood's currency converted to death's tender. Each glass universe holds a reflection of trust's final transaction. Play becomes prey. Innocence is the first casualty. Marbles, those perfect little spheres of childhood nostalgia, now repurposed as bullets in capitalism's favorite game of Russian roulette. Isn't it deliciously twisted how they transformed something you'd find in a playground into a tool of execution? Each marble becomes a glass coffin for someone's dreams, precisely because they're so innocent, so utterly divorced from their deadly purpose. Just like how corporate titles like associate or team member mask the reality of expendability, these marbles mask their lethal intent behind their playful facade. The game takes these childhood treasures, these little glass universes that once contained whole worlds of imagination, and turns them into counting beads on death's abacus. Each click-clack in the player's hands becomes a countdown, not to playtime's end, but to life's. Rather fitting, wouldn't you say? In a world where everything has its price, even childhood memories are fair game for monetization. At least carnival games only cost you pocket change. This one costs you your soul. A Hollywood set of memories, where nostalgia's cardboard comfort props up the illusion of home death's waiting room dressed in pastels. Behind every perfect facade lies the scaffolding of deception. How perfectly cruel, a neighborhood built like a theme park attraction of normalcy. It's the ultimate stage set, where every pastel-painted wall is just another curtain hiding the executioner's block. They've created a simulacrum of community, a 3D printed version of home that's about as authentic as a corporate team-building exercise. The game makers understand that the most effective torture chamber isn't a dungeon, it's a mockery of safety. Every familiar corner, every cozy nook is designed to whisper, "Remember when you felt secure," right before it pulls the rug out from under you. These aren't grand palaces or exotic locations, just the utterly mundane streets of working-class life. It's as if they're saying, see, even your most ordinary memories aren't safe from commodification. They've turned nostalgia itself into a weapon, proving that in late-stage capitalism, even your childhood memories can be repackaged and sold back to you with a deadly markup. The pastel colors aren't soothing. They're anesthetic, numbing you just enough to make the kill shot more efficient. Rather like how corporations paint their break rooms in calming colors while they calculate how to maximize employee output. A wolf in sheep's wool, knitted with the threads of camaraderie, capitalism's favorite sweater. When friendship becomes currency, trust becomes the first casualty. Gganbu, supposedly meaning we share everything. It's marketed as friendship, but packaged as a zero-sum game, rather like how corporations call their employees family, right before the layoffs begin. The word morphs from a warm embrace into a stranglehold, proving that even language itself can be weaponized when profit enters the equation. Quite the linguistic sleight of hand they've pulled there, making Betrayal where friendship's name tag at the party. A carnival mirror of consciousness, where forgetting becomes remembering's most artful performance. Power plays dead to win the game of life. In the theater of memory loss, the sharpest mind plays the fool. Dementia, a masterclass in weaponized vulnerability. Here we have the ultimate power player performing powerlessness, wearing confusion like a perfectly tailored suit. It's rather like watching a chess grandmaster pretending they've forgotten how the pieces move. This isn't just forgetting, it's strategic remembering in reverse. Il Nam's performance of Dementia becomes a funhouse mirror reflection of how power operates in our society. Those with the most pretend to have the least, all while their hands remain firmly on the puppet strings. The beauty of the deception lies in its exploitation of compassion. Like a corporation claiming poverty while posting record profits, Il Nam's performed confusion manipulates not just memory, but morality itself. He turns Ji-yeong's basic human decency into a trap, proving that in this game, as in life, even kindness can be turned against you. What better disguise for the architect of suffering than the mask of suffering? It's the ultimate smokescreen. Who would suspect the confused old man of being the puppet master? Rather like how billionaires wear hoodies to board meetings. The more power you have, the more profitable it becomes to play powerless. A void that speaks louder than fullness, where absence becomes presence, and nothing holds more weight than something. Power's favorite magic trick, the disappearing truth. In the game of power, emptiness is the ultimate privilege. The empty bag, capitalism's favorite magic trick. Like a corporate promise of competitive salary or unlimited potential, it's what isn't there that tells the real story. Aelnom's empty marble bag becomes the ultimate symbol of privilege. The rules simply don't apply when you own the game. In a game where fullness means death and emptiness means life, the empty bag becomes a perfect metaphor for how power operates. Everyone else must play by the rules, must carry their weight, must bear their burden, except those who wrote the rules in the first place. They get to walk around with empty bags, whistling past the graveyard they created. The beauty of the empty bag lies in its audacious transparency. It's not even trying to hide the fact that it's empty. Rather, like how billionaires barely bother to disguise their tax avoidance anymore. The empty bag says, yes, I'm breaking the rules. What are you going to do about it? It's rather like those too big to fail banks. When everyone else's empty account means eviction, their empty vaults mean bailouts. Aelnom's empty bag isn't just empty of marbles. It's empty of consequences, empty of accountability, empty of the very rules that fill everyone else's lives with deadly weight. Sugar-coated cyanide pills of design, where baby blues scream murder and soft pinks whisper threats. The palette of death, dressed in nursery colors. The softer the color, the sharper its teeth. Pastel colors, capitalism's favorite makeup palette for dressing up trauma. Like a nursery rhyme about plague deaths, these soft hues perform the ultimate gaslighting, making murder look Instagram-worthy. The game designers understand that terror hits harder when it's wearing baby blue. Each pastel wall becomes a mockery of comfort, like a corporate wellness program that masks systematic exploitation. These aren't just colors, they're anesthetic, designed to numb you to the horror while making it all the more horrific. Using the color scheme of childhood innocence to frame adult betrayal. Rather like how tech companies use playful primary colors to disguise data harvesting, or how pharmaceutical ads show people frolicking in lavender fields while listing fatal side effects. Episode 6, Gganbu, represents the perfect crystallization of late-stage capitalism's most insidious strategy, weaponizing nostalgia and trust against their very foundations. Through its intricate layering of symbolic elements, from the deceptively innocent marbles to the pastel-colored death maze, the episode creates a perfect microcosm of how power operates in our society. Each element, the neighborhood setting, the childhood game, the partnerships, is carefully designed to maximize psychological trauma through cognitive dissonance. The players aren't just losing their lives, they're losing their ability to trust their own memories. The game makers understand that the most effective form of violence isn't physical. It's the systematic destruction of meaning itself. Aelnom's performed dementia becomes the episode's central metaphor, power playing powerless, the architect of suffering masquerading as its victim. His empty marble bag reveals the ultimate truth. The rules are themselves a prop in power's performance. Like corporate fine print or political doublespeak, they exist only to bind the powerless while leaving convenient escape hatches for their creators. The episode's true horror isn't in its body count, but in its implications. That in our world, just as in the game, every warm memory, every trusted relationship, every cherished symbol of innocence can be transformed into a weapon by those who control the system. The pastel colors aren't just masking death. They're suggesting that perhaps death was always hiding behind our comfort, waiting for the right moment to collect its marbles. What makes Gganbu particularly brilliant is how it forces viewers to confront their own complicity in similar systems of betrayal, all while wrapping this bitter pill in the sugar coating of entertainment. Rather like how we're all playing our own marble games, just with slightly longer deadlines and more pastel-colored walls to soften the blow.